Hey everybody, this is Todd Longley, Cabela's Pro Staff, and I'm out here on the Red River today, and I'm going to show you some really cool lures that I use on the Red River in Lake Winnipeg for ice fishing. Let's start live target. We've all heard of the live target. It's amazing. It's got a really loud rattle and it nails walleyes big time. Drop it down to the bottom, snap jig it, rattle, 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 snap it up. Drop it back down to the bottom, rattle, 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 snap it up. And what I like to do is just put a minnow head on the back treble and then hold it on with a bait button, and those fish stick to this lure like nothing. So this is the live target. Next I have the Oziri Lure. It's also a rattle bait. It's used the same way as the live target. Drop it down to the bottom, rattle, 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 snap it up. Drop it down to the bottom, rattle, 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 snap it up. And once again, it's got a louder rattle and the fish also are hitting it really good. And also I'll put a minnow on the back treble. Unbelievable. Really nice colors on this one. Next I have one of my favorites, the TN70 Jackal from Shimano. This is a deadly lure. It's got one of the loudest rattles out there. Once again, I will drop it down to the bottom of the hole. I will rattle it, and then I'll snap it up really hard. I'll also put a minnow on the back treble. In fact, there's a bait button still on there from the last time I used it. And I got tooth marks all over this lure. You can hear it. Amazing lure. Jackal. Unbelievable. Next up, I got the Hyper Rattle. This is pretty cool. This one's pretty heavy. You can drop it down to the bottom. I like to put a little minnow on the end and hold it on with the bait button. So I'll drop it down to the bottom of the hole. And I like to give it a little rattle, and then I pop it up and then let it descend back down to the bottom. It gives it a little bit of action. Once it hits the bottom, usually a fish will take it before you pull it back up again. The Hyper Rattle from Acme Tackle. It's pretty deadly. Lake Winnipeg. Next up, the Hyper Glide. This is relatively new on the market, and I really love this lure. It's got a really cool action. It's got little wings on it, so when you get it down to the bottom of the hole and then you snap it up and it goes back down, it does this. It descends back down to the bottom. And I like to put a little minnow head on the back treble of this, and it's pretty deadly. Next up, one of my favorite spoons to use. This particular spoon's from Pelican Lures. It's called the Purple Splash. As you can see, what I'll do is I'll put a whole minnow on all the trebles. I'll just spread it out on all the trebles, hold it on with bait buttons, and then all you do is snap it up and let it descend back down to the bottom. It has that little wave as it drops to the bottom, and the walleyes will smash it at once before it hits the bottom, and you set the hook, and oh, it's amazing. Pelican Lures, unbelievable. Next up, one of my favorite jigs to use, the Acme Tackle Google Eye Jig. It's pretty neat. It's got a rattle in the eyes. If you can shake it, you can hear it. Really good. I did really well in the fall time for my walleyes, and I also did really good last year for walleyes through the ice. So this particular jig has a rattle in the eyes, and it really does well on the walleyes. Something you need in your tackle box. And last on my list, the Reel Bait Tackle Flasher Jig. I've been using this for years. It's amazing. It's a stand-up jig. It also has a Gamugatsu nickel-plated hook. This is the tournament series. It's razor sharp. It's also got the willow leaf. I like to use this one for dead sticking when I'm fishing. What I'll do is I'll put a live minnow and I'll hook it through the tail with the bait button, and I'll just let it swim around right at the bottom of the hole, and it agitates the willow leaf, and I get walleyes all the time. They just smash it. So these are some of the lures that I carry in my tackle box. So if you're going out to Lake Winnipeg or the Red River or any body of water here in Manitoba, try and give these a try. They're all available at Cabela's. I'm Todd Longley, Cabela's Pro Staff. Please be safe, and we'll see you on the water.